AskReddit. What is the best way to introduce yourself to new people? I typically start off with a question about something that is going or some compliment. Small talk I use to introduce myself rather than to make a move first. A good move requires good foundation. Good foundation requires a good introduction. Yes, I often find something I genuinely like. It's important to be genuine and say something about it. The key is to keep it short and simple, don't embellish too much, and don't say anything you think may come off as creepy. This is not always a good idea, and especially if it's a member of the opposite sex may come off as hitting on. In that case I usually walk up and ask, "Hi, I'm blank. You seem cool, how do you know so and so?" or "Hi, I'm blank. I don't know a lot of people here, what's your name?" I find that being upfront and disarmingly awkward about the fact that I'm awkward is best. They better know now that I'm a weirdo rather than in 3 minutes. If you're at a public location or event, that provides some common ground to relate to each other or ask questions. No one could get upset with you for asking an innocent question or making a genuine statement. Same. Initial thing is always some comment relevant to whatever is going on at the moment, and then if the conversation stays alive for more than a few minutes, then I bother with names and all that. Hold up your hand as if for a handshake, and then, as soon as they lift there's a bit to reciprocate, lift both your hands as if you were going in for a hug the whole time. Awkwardly make them switch between handshake and hug a couple of times as you close distance before committing to the hug. Then kiss them on the cheek as they pull back, try to awkwardly get another 2 kisses in European style. Now just maintain eye contact while biting your bottom lip, and you got yourself a friend for life there, buddy. Tried this advice on first day of new job. I can testify that it works very well, especially with the CEO of the company you're working for. "We're going golfing tomorrow." You should definitely 100% trust this amazing advice on the internet left by a stranger. This may sound kind of lame and corny, but it's the only thing that make introductions better for me. I force myself to assume the other person is going to like me. I'll say inside my own head, of course this person is going to like me because I am inherently likable. Something about this mantra hijacks my brain in a way that always makes the situation go smoother. Nothing like a good positive affirmation. Now say it in the mirror 100 times every morning for the next month and watch how it changes your life. In a relaxed, friendly way, tell them your name and ask for theirs. Then, with a smile, say that you're happy to meet them. If they seem receptive, ask them something about themselves like where they're from. Make it easy for them to talk and encourage conversation by keeping topics easy and of mutual interest. Show them your Pokémon card collection and maintain constant eye contact. 20% of the time it works every time. Try to relate to them. There's no use becoming friends with people with no shared interests, find out what they enjoy. On top of this, read their outward appearance for cues regarding their interests or even just praise an item they're wearing that you really think is nice, example. "Hey, nice tulle shirt you have." This is a sign that the conversation will lead to a lengthy one as you two probably share the same interests. The venue is very important as people with similar goals tend to congregate, intentionally or unintentionally. In a bar that shows Giants games in New York, the people at the bar will most likely be Giants fan. The people who show up at an anime convention will obviously like anime and related stuff. The people at an airport bar on a Monday morning will most likely be business people and so on. To add to this even further, don't be afraid to have your own opinions and preferences. Common interests, like rooting for the same sports team, are great, they're good conversation starters. However, if you root for a different team, or you like Tool but think X band is even better, don't be afraid to say it. Things like that can often lead to more fruitful, interesting conversations. It may sound stupid, but I used to default to agreeing with everything my conversation partners would say. I think a lot of people have this sort of default setting where they try too hard to be agreeable and friendly. I'm no expert by any means in social interaction, but here's some advice from someone who felt very awkward as a teen but managed to become socially outgoing. Do not trust Redditors' advice to do much. Find science-based psychology advice. Interact with people with common interests. I liked role-playing games, so I lurked at the local shop, for example. The owner introduced me to some other players. I started working at the counter of a pharmacy. Some of my co-workers were very outgoing, and I slowly learned their ways. It takes practice. So find a group of people with common interests and practice a lot. You will get better. A human being is the most wonderful and mysterious thing in the whole universe. Offer your wonders and mysteries and discover other people's. Just do it. People form an opinion of you before you even speak to them, and I found by just saying hello and beginning a dialogue, it removes the anxiety after the first words. If they don't like you or don't seem talkative, well, hey, good to meet you and move on. I think just seem approachable. There's no standard way to go about it, though here are some rules of thumb. Smile if you can. It just makes you a lot easier to talk to, and even if it's for a serious occasion, you'll seem significantly more personable. Nowadays, please don't take off your mask to smile or anything like that, but just generally acknowledge that body language is important. Be confidently humble, no one likes a bragger, but also seem interesting. Say a few facts about yourself. Phrasing is important. Understand the purpose of distinguishing yourself and how you'd like to come across. Finally, don't sweat it. I don't think this is easy for everyone, but know that all of us have been in your shoes. We've all had awesome introductions and ones where we leave maybe not so great first impressions. Know that there is almost always a second chance to get it right the next time, and that it's okay to be a little awkward. Compliment something he or she is wearing or holding. Everyone loves a compliment. If you get the sense that they want to talk more, then launch into introducing yourself by name. If not, then excuse yourself and leave them be. Example: hey, love the shirt. More people should wear pink. It's a great color. If person is like, oh, yeah, thanks, and pauses awkwardly or seems disinterested in carrying on a convo, then you have an out by saying, anyway, sorry to interrupt, just wanted to let you know I dig your shirt. See you around. If person is like, oh, yeah, thanks. I got it from a vintage shop at 4th and Main. It's one of my faves, too. Then you can carry on from there with something like, cool, thanks for the shopping tip. By the way, I'm Aaron. What's your name? It's simple, but it's easy to execute because it's formulaic. You have a way out every single time, but if you manage to catch a good vibe, you've already made a good first impression by flattering the person. Don't believe those who say flattery won't get you anywhere. Doing something small that shows who you are as a person. For example, I usually will make some sort of joke to break the ice because it shows that I love to laugh and it makes people relax a bit. Treat them like they are already your friends. If they don't respond in kind, you probably don't want to be friends with them anyways. I think the reason so many people are bad with names is because they are focusing on themselves. We are taught that first impressions are important, so we are focused on how we introduce ourselves instead of focusing on the person you are meeting. Focus on remembering their name and the second impression will be much more impressive. Admit your own insecurities right off the bat. Usually if you're meeting someone new, you'll both be in kind of a new situation or setting. Saying something like I'm kind of nervous being around all of these new people can make the other person instantly more relaxed. Realize it doesn't matter if that person likes you or not. If you're hoping to find a significant other, you don't want to start with lies, so be yourself. They don't like you, move on, wasn't meant to be. You don't want to fight or have to lie to be happy. If it's someone at work, your performance should speak for itself. Make eye contact and smile and wait for them to reciprocate. If they don't respond, leave them alone. Otherwise you can say something once you have eye contact, and if they don't keep the conversation going, leave them alone. If they don't give you eye contact, I would look the other way. An introduction has to go both ways. I'm not going to do all the work in an introduction, and I'm not going to do all the work in a relationship. You have to know from the start that the person is just as interested in you as you are in them. If you never approach them, they don't know you exist. If you approach them but get tongue-tied and bail out in the middle of saying hi, it is just too awkward for everybody and it never goes anywhere. If you approach them and get tongue-tied, but you persist, even though it is embarrassing and tough, then sometimes they will be the kind of person who only responds well to smooth talkers and it will go nowhere. Sometimes they will be the kind of person who actually makes fun of someone who chokes a bit when trying to introduce themselves. That can be a very hard way to learn that you didn't want to know that person anyway, but now you know. Sometimes they will be like you, like most of us, that know that a stammer or terrible opening hello usually means this person is really into me. Persist. Get through the first 1 minute. You deserve to have that friend. Oops, it looks like you reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to be updated with our latest upload.